Would you hire an employee for $200 a month? Not an intern, not a part-timer. An employee that works your existing software, browses, clicks, fills out forms, completes multi-step workflows on the same tools your team uses every day. That's what Perplexity launched this week. It's called Perplexity Computer, and it costs $200 a month. Now, if you watched yesterday's video on the Waymo ratio, one human overseeing 43 autonomous vehicles, this is the economic sequel. Yesterday, we talked about what your practice looks like at a fundamentally different staffing ratio. Today, we're talking about what it costs. $200 a month. Let's get into it. Now, Perplexity isn't alone in this space. OpenAI is pricing its agent products at $2,000 to $20,000 a month, and they're not calling them tools. They're calling them employees. SoftBank committed $3 billion to OpenAI's agent platform. Average enterprise AI spend hit $85,000 a month in 2025, up 36% year over year. The share of companies planning to spend more than $100,000 a month has more than doubled. That's not experimentation. That's infrastructure spending. And $200 is the entry point, not the ceiling. What we're watching form right now is a new labor category. Digital employees at every price point for every tier of work. And the capability floor keeps rising while the price floor keeps dropping. This week alone, Claude 3.5 Haiku got significantly smarter at half of its previous cost. GPT 4.5 launched with a focus on nuance and judgment. Grok 3 shipped with 10 times the compute of its predecessor. Every model improvement makes the $200 agent more capable without raising the price. The engines underneath these digital employees are getting better almost every week. Okay, so here's what concerns me. And I think this is the most important part of today's video. The price is now so low that every practice owner watching this could buy a digital agent tomorrow. And most of them would get nothing from it. Because a $200 digital employee doesn't slot into your current org chart. It doesn't know your chart of accounts. It doesn't understand your client naming conventions. It doesn't know your review process or when to escalate a question to a senior. It doesn't know what done looks like at your firm. And this is where the bolt-on trap is most dangerous. We've talked about this pattern before, bolt-on versus rebuild. The $200 price point makes the bolt-on temptation worse because it feels disposable. Well, it's worth a shot, no risk, except the risk isn't the money. The risk is the conclusion you'll draw when it doesn't work. You'll decide AI agents just aren't ready, when the real problem is that your practice isn't ready for them. Moltbot, the open source AI agent that became the fastest growing project in GitHub history. Over 100,000 people giving an AI agent autonomous access to their digital lives. The demand signal was deafening. Perplexity Computer is the polished, commercial, managed version of that same demand. The wild experiment just became a product you can buy. But the lesson from Molt still applies. The difference between the agent that saved someone $4,000 negotiating a car purchase and the agent that carpet bombed someone's contact list with 500 messages was the same thing. The quality of the specification, the context engineering, the employee handbook you write for the AI before you let it touch anything. So let's talk about your team, because this is the part most practice owners skip. Your existing staff aren't being replaced by $200 employees. They're being asked to manage it. And that's a fundamentally different skill set. Reviewing AI output instead of producing it. Designing workflows instead of executing them. Knowing when to trust the agent's work and when to step in and question it. Setting the guardrails that keep a digital employee inside the boundary of your firm's standards. Think about it this way. Your bookkeeper knows how to do a bank rec. They don't know how to supervise an AI doing 30 bank recs simultaneously and catch the 3 that need human judgment. Your senior knows how to review a staff accountant's work. They don't know how to review an agent's output at 10 times the volume with a completely different error profile. The human role doesn't shrink in this model, it transforms. And the transformation requires training your team has never had. This is where the AI Black Belt program comes in, and I want to be specific about why. The program builds through 5 layers: foundational AI literacy, prompt architecture, context engineering, workflow automation, and the 5th layer, the one that makes everything in this video possible, is agent orchestration. Agent orchestration isn't prompting a chatbot. It's designing multi-step workflows where AI handles execution and humans handle judgment. Setting guardrails, managing handoffs between the agent and your team, building the specifications, the context engineering we've been talking about all year that turns a generic $200 agent into a $200 agent that operates within the specific reality of your practice. Without that layer, you're buying a tool. With it, you're hiring an employee. And here's the math that makes this urgent. Yesterday we talked about the ratio. Today, let's talk about the cost. A bookkeeper runs $5,000 to $8,000 a month, fully loaded. A digital agent handling a meaningful share of that execution work costs $200 to $2,000. The ratio redesign we've talked about yesterday isn't just structurally compelling, it's economically unavoidable. Your fee structure is either a massive margin opportunity or a competitive vulnerability right now. If your delivery cost drops 40 to 60% and you're still pricing like it hasn't, you're choosing to leave margin on the table. If your competitor figures this out first, they reprice to win your clients while maintaining profitability you can't match. So here's what I need you to do. I want your team ready for this moment. The AI Black Belt program is built for exactly this. 5 layers from foundations through agent orchestration. The full capability stack your team needs to work alongside digital employees, not just use AI tools. Visit the AI Accountant to get started. Would you hire a $200 a month employee? The better question is whether your practice is ready to manage one.